This is a little review exercise to go over how we can animate nested movies, create animation that is timed to the music, as well as loading external files. And this is our host file that we're going to use to load external files. I'm going to just show you these finished files and explain around the code. I'll start by demonstrating the finished movie by testing the movie right here. And we've got 3 buttons at the bottom. They are animated. So I'd like you to create some sort of animation on your button. These 2 will load external files, and this one will unload those files, therefore clearing the stage. So let me start with the first one, load nested animation. So it's a simple animation with 2 nested animations, if you will, inside of movie clips. So I'm going to stop both of them with the red button. That one stops the yellow element. This one will stop the green element. I'll quickly go into that file, but right now this is an external file, an SWF file, that is loaded when we click this button here. And I can start that up again in any combination. Okay, and if I want to just kick that out, I can go clear stage over here, and that unloads the whole movie clip, the whole external movie rather. Let me load the second one now. It's just a simple progress bar with a song. So I can also click either button to kick the other one out and load itself in. Alright, so that's basically it. We've got 2 different external movies that we're calling up on demand by clicking either of these green buttons. The red button is kind of like an emergency kick out whatever is on the stage inside of the external window, which is known as a loader. Okay, so let me just close this now. So speaking of the loader, let's go to the actions and we'll look over the code. Basically, we declare a loader with this line right here at the top. And we've done this before. This is all review. But we declare a loader, and the variable type is loader with a capital L. Then we create a class. We go equals new loader empty bracket semicolon. And that generates this thing called the loader, which is like an empty window, basically. It's an invisible empty window that allows us to project external files into the current file. And the way we put that on the stage is with this next line called add child. So the command is add child brackets and name of the variable, which is loader. And these 2 lines generates, I'll call it the magic window, and places it on stage ready to receive external files. And these next 3 groups are basically the same. It's the 3 buttons. So I'll explain the first one here. We do have an instance name on all of the buttons. This is the instance name for the first button. And we have an add event listener. And we can generate this code here through our code snippets. We've got the mouse event set to click. Then it calls out the function. And inside of the function here, we have 2 commands. One to stop all sounds when we click it, to stop any current sound. And the second one, the main event here in this file, is to load the external file, which is again calling on the variable called loader.load inside of the brackets to call in the external file. The syntax is new, URL request, brackets, quote marks around the pathway. In this case, the external file is in the same folder as this file, therefore the pathway is the file name, and we put that in quote marks, and it's a .swf file, and those are brackets inside of these brackets here. Okay, and we end that with a semicolon. And it's the same for the next button as well. So I tend to just copy this when I'm creating the next one and paste it in here and just change the name of the pathway. The last one here is a little different. The main thing is, this is for the clear button, is loader.unload. So we're doing the opposite of load, we're unloading. So it's .unload empty bracket semicolon. And that will clear the loader of any current content that may have been called in. So that's the code inside of the actions panel. It's inside of frame 1. You'll notice, let me close this, that there really is only 1 frame with 2 layers. I put all the content on the 1 layer in this case because there's no actual animation going on here. a little animation inside of the buttons, but other than that, this is all static with an empty invisible window calling in our external files. So that's the host file. I'm just going to save that file, and we'll move over. I guess we'll move over to the song file. Again, we've done these before, so I'm just going to quickly go over how it's built here again. Let's just start by looking at the timeline. I've got the song on the bottom layer. I've got the animated fill, which is this red bit here, which fills up as the song progresses. I've got the stroke, which is the black frame around it, static on its own layer, and I've got the text element again on its own layer. In this case, I'm just letting it loop, so I don't have any code to stop it, so I actually don't need any code at all in this file. Let me just quickly go to the end of the file here, or end of the timeline, and just show you again that this red bar is a shape tween, and here's the keyframe at the end with the fill fully filling the black area. On the first frame, it's just a sliver of that, and you would just modify that shape again using your free transform tool, where you would keyframe the last frame first and then return to the first frame and shrink this down. Okay, so the song itself, let me just click on frame 1 of the song layer. Of course, you'll need to go File, Import, Import to Library, go find your song. In this case, it's an MP3 file. Brought it into the library. Let me just show you here. There it is. And then under Properties, when you click on the first frame, in that layer, just call it in under the sound. It'll be on the list. What you must change here, if it's not already set to stream, set it to stream under sync. That allows the song to download as it begins playing. Okay, so that's the song file. Again, on your animated fill, you'll just have to create, in your first frame, just right click and go create shape tween. This one's already here, that's why it's saying remove. Okay, and shape tweens always require at least 2 keyframes. So there's the keyframe at the end, again with the fill, filling the area inside of the framed black. Okay, so that's the song file. And oh yes, of course, to generate your external SWF, you will need to do a test movie which creates the file. So I'll just do a quick test movie now. I'm just using my keyboard shortcut here. And once you do that, it does create the movie. And I can prove that. Let me go out to my desktop here. And this is what you're going to see in your folder when all is said and done. Your 3 FLA files and also your 3 SWF files. These 2 are imperative. They are the files that load, not the FLA files. Okay. So let's now go to the final loaded movie, which is the nested movie. Just going to click away here. Again, all happening on one frame in the scene 1 timeline. I've got 1 layer for the buttons, which are these 4 buttons here, 2 sets, 1 layer for the nested animation, and 1 layer for the code. Okay, so let's start with the buttons. They each have an instance name, yellow underscore start underscore BTN, and the same for a stop button for that. And this one would say green underscore start underscore BTN, and a stop button for that one as well. The movie clip also has an instance name. This one's called yellow underscore MC. Let me just go up to my selection tool here. And if I double click on the movie clip and click on this next clip inside of it, it is called green underscore MC. And you can see here how the yellow is animated. And to animate the green, again, it's a movie clip inside of this nested movie clip. I'll double click it. And it has a static version of the yellow on the 1 layer. And then we animate that movie clip. It's actually a movie clip. I'll just point that out. So we can animate a quick rotation. And you can see here using a motion tween to do 1 complete rotation. And again, to get the rotation, you click on the first frame. Once it's a motion tween, and you can click rotate here and choose which direction, clockwise, counterclockwise. You must click on the frame to get access to this feature. Okay, and that only works on a movie clip. That's the reason I made the green element a movie clip as well. So that's inside of this yellow one. Of course, that's a movie clip too. Same method here to animate on the motion tween. So I'll just point out here, the blue element is static at this point inside of that movie clip. And then up here on scene 1, we have sort of the parent element of the movie clip, which I called yellow underscore MC. Okay, so let's look at the code quickly. Now the code in this one, of course, all the buttons have instance names. So we call up a click mouse event, and we go inside the function. We call up the animated movie clip. In this case, the top layer is yellow underscore MC dot stop. So that stops the timeline inside of that movie clip. To go inside of the nested movie clip, you just follow down the pathway with the dots. So yellow MC dot green underscore MC, which is inside of yellow, and then dot stop to stop that one on its timeline inside of green underscore MC. And it's the same for the play. So to start the playhead, it's play. To stop the playhead, it's stop. And again, these are like pathways digging down inside of the movie clips, going according to their instance names. Okay, so this movie clip instance name is inside of this movie clip instance name. So to dig down to it, you have to follow it with a period. And that's really how that all works. It's pretty straightforward. Once you have one set made, the second set goes pretty fast. Okay, so that's again how the nested movie clip control features work in this movie. And to save the file, well, I'm going to save it here. To save an external file at the .swf, I'm going to do a test movie. And you don't have to run it, you just have to generate it by going test movie. And again, if I go out to the desktop here, here is the folder, and you should put it all in one folder like a project folder. And I just created these by doing test movie. Okay, so you're going to have 3 movies altogether for this particular exercise. And that's our review exercise for this week.